All right. Yeah, let us start with the programs. Yeah, what questions you have on the programs? Who wants to go first?
Sir, actually, we discussed with what is the objective of the program.
Mhm.
But some of us were confused with the goal of the program.
Okay. Okay. So can somebody tell me what was the confusion? What you understood? What you don't understand? You made any assumptions?
Hello, sir. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in here, till like we understood that result set is one big object, which carries, whatever the query we give from the SQL, it gets that comes as a one big object result set. And you wanted us to further split that object, each row make it as an object. That we understood that part. So each row, to make each row as an object, we tried it, but again we have made that object in a array form. So like how to use those further, splitted objects, and that was the confusion, and whether whatever we have written is correct or not.
What mostly all the programs are right. What you have done is right. The objective is right. The output is right. But then, can somebody tell me why did we do this exercise? How this will help in the real world?
So as far as my understanding, result on result set, we cannot perform the operations which we needed. That is, restriction is there on result set. So that is why we are further splitting those each rows as an object. That I understand.
Whatever like external things are there from in table form, we can't take it directly. So in different key value key pair like that, any result is required, then we will convert in list type. Then we can transfer it to any other application. For that purpose, we will do.
Yeah. Hi, Ramesh. So
Yes,
to my understanding, the reason why we were given for the task is that to understand actually the array list, how the list works, and we need to understand how we need to store the object and the values in the array list with connecting with the JDBC. So this was actually the task given.
Yeah.
So Ramesh, as per my understanding, the reason being is that if we take a look at the XMLs, if we as a sample, if we can take a look at any XML we are receiving from ETL team, so it will be in the form of each, it will have a few objects. For example, a contiguous, here we have taken contiguous ID and cont ID and so on. Like in that way, it will have a person name object and address BOBJ. So that so it will help us to understand how it is being mapped inside the code, and in that way it will help us to understand the business flow as well. That was the reason.
Any other views from anyone?
I think list will make us help us in performing operations easier. It will make the operations easier, and we can perform various operations like FIFO and LIFO and sort it according to our wish in the real world.
Okay. Are we good with everyone's views? Okay. So the right answer was from Sridhar. Okay. So let me connect to my pad. So what Sridhar said was right. Let me give a real world example. So how real world IT works? It is, you just don't create a simple Java program like this, right? In the real world, you actually do a whole lot of things. You know why Java became very famous is you have an UI, user interface. Yeah. And this will be on certain, we call it as a client. So this is what this is will be on browser, right? So either we call it as a client or we call it as a browser. And so there's so many browsers, right? You have Safari, you have Google Chrome, yeah, Bing, which is IE, etc. Yeah, so many of them. So these are the clients, and these clients, the language they understand is HTML. We all know that. Yeah. So they understand HTML. So when they send, when they make a request, so they will always send this via network, right? So it will be transferred as 101010, but then it will go as an HTTP request. But inside HTTP request, they have something called the body, yeah, where it depends what they are sending. They may send an HTML, they may send an XML, yeah. Yeah, so likewise. So typically with an UI, they will be sending an HTML. So when this HTML, let us assume it is a very simple MVC architecture, model view controller. What happens is, we call it as a 3-tier architecture. So here is your database. So when you send this HTML request, what you typically do is, this HTML now needs, so you are this layer, which is your Java layer, right? This, you're writing a Java program, and this component understands only SQL. So this layer, this is a programming layer. Yeah. So this can do a whole lot of things. It can play with the data. So whenever this HTML comes, what it does is it parses that HTML. Okay, it takes that HTML, which is a markup language, very similar to XML, and it parses that and it converts into a Java objects. Are we good so far? This you all agree, right? It has to be converted into a Java object. You cannot convert it into a Python object, right? Since you are in a Java environment, of course you will play, the way you will understand the data is with Java object. Everything in Java is a Java object. Agree? Your HTML, here I cannot work with an HTML or HTML, isn't it? Java does not understand HTML. That HTML needs to convert into a Java object. Agree?
Yes, yes.
So when you convert this into a Java object, what happens is this Java object, what is this Java object? There will be a kind of agreement what you would have done. So here, if this HTML is sending you the customer details, it is carrying the customer details. It is an envelope, or it is some card or some email or whatever. It is carrying the customer details. Of course, you will make one customer object where all the data what is being carried in an HTML will be converted to a customer object. Are we good so far? Of course, right? Anything what you see it here, the data is transmitted, that needs to be converted into a certain object, because Java will always hold the data into an object. Agree? So you would have made a Java Pojo class to hold that object. And now your application will never be that simple, right? You have to do a lot of business logic. Yeah, you will be doing a lot of business logic, something you'll be doing here. Yeah, it is not just that somebody will pass the data and you will push it here, right? It's a programming paradigm, and you will end up doing certain things. You'll apply certain rules, you'll check, validate this, whether they sent in the right request or not. We call it as a business logic or business validation layer. So this you will what validation you do, of course you will do it on this object, right? You will take the data from this object and you will do the validation. You will not do it on the HTML. Agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And then here you will have something called a data access layer. We call it as DAO. When you are sending the request to a SQL, this SQL understands only SQL, right? You know, because that is why they made something called JDBC. They made a Java objects for you, something like connection, statement. Somebody made this package where they are helping you to send the request to SQL and they are helping you to take back the response from SQL. What SQL understands is only SQL statement. It does not understand Java, right? But then your JDBC is helping you to contact it. You know, they have abstracted you. You are actually not making a direct connection with SQL. Everything is being done via Java itself. Somebody has written a code for you, more generic code. You with me?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
following me? Yeah. So when they send it, this Java object, what you have made. So now you, a very simple case was given to you. Select star from quantq, right? Select star from quantq. If when you become more, when this query gets more complex, where employee ID is equal to certain thing. Okay, you are passing this employee ID as a parameter. Where it has come from here. Agree? Some
Yeah.
input, so that input has triggered from here, right? It came inside HTML, it got converted into a Java object, and from that Java object, when you are making a SQL statement, you will add, you will take it from get from this object, put as a parameter into this. Agree?
Yes.
So then it will go to SQL, and SQL will respond back. SQL will not give you a Java object. SQL will just give you the SQL output, right? And that SQL output is converted by your JDBC package. We call it as a driver, JDBC package, okay? Database connectivity. It will convert and it is giving you as a result set. The control is with it. Result set is not something you have made it. Result set is made by them. Somebody has written it. So hence, result set object, when they give their any query you do, how they are giving you, they are trying to give you, so the data what you see in SQL is into a matrix, right? So they are trying to mimic that and give it to you where you can read it. If it is in M2 into 2 matrix, so what your result set object will have is, it will give you object 1 and it will give you object 2. Okay, very generic Java object. It is not giving you any of your object. Anytime you query, it is representing and giving the data like this. In the object 1, it will have, so this will represent as object 1. This will represent as object 2. It is an object of something, any row, any query you do. Okay, it is telling you an object and it is telling you, it is then giving you, so there are 4 columns here. So column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Okay, so all these columns. For these columns, for object 1, it will put this value inside. Okay, I really don't know. I'm just telling you. I don't know if they are using map or how, but essentially what I'm trying to tell is, they are converting that data and putting it into a result set and giving it to you. So column 1 has it. Okay, and then you see, and this will have a value in it. They would have used that set value, set column 1 value, something like that. Okay, and then they would have put very generic method they have written, very generic way of writing the program, nothing related to business, right? One generic way, any query you do, they are going to give the data, whatever data is, it comes as a table, they will map it to such a result set, and you know how to pull that data. You know, if you do a get, you know, if you do a get string, you do an index 1, it is going to give that column 1 value it will give. When you increment it with 2, it will give you that, because that is how they have stored it. They have mapped it. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Any question? Any questions? Clear? Okay, so now when result set came to you, what Shruti makes sense. Result set gave the value back to you, but then result set is not your object. Can you really take this result set? Some earlier this is it's a very crude way of writing the program. Can I really pass the result set object itself back to HTML here? Yeah, a result set object came back to you. Okay, can I really pass that thing to them? No, right? So
No.
hence, typically what we do is we convert it to our own understanding. We convert it into our object, our objects, okay? Our Java objects. So that is why you are all in MDM, you see they are all called as BOBJ, which means business objects. Okay, it may happen so that you are not pulling the data from one table, right? You may do select star from contact and contq. You agree? Or you may have more tables, or name, you may have address. Okay, you have one query where cont id is equal to whatever you have joined, you will have join conditions here. Okay, now your result set is going to give you the data of this, right? For this result, the query you sent in and it gave you this result, right? But can you really send back all this to them, to the HTML? No, right? What you will do, whatever the data you got from the result set, what you will do, some data you will put it into TCRM org name BOBJ. Some data you will put into TCRM address BOBJ. Some data you will put it into TCRM party BOBJ. You getting me? Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this confusing? Are you all very clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, see, you could have put, see, it is up to you. So you could have decided, I will know, why should I put all this into these three? I will write my own something like this, customer Pojo. I will put all what? No, nobody is stopping you. You can do it. It's just that they have structured it in a very beautiful way. They have designed it so that it's that high level design. They would have made these models, right? Database models, and then they have made an XML schemas. They make the schemas, right? You have tables like this, right? Lot of entity diagrams, we say. You have contact table. This is linked with your contq. This is linked with your org name. Then the address table. You have the database model, right? Address, and this is a DB model they have made. They have designers, the architects, they think like this when it's just to make it easy, right? And then you have an XML model. So it may happen so that this two tables in the database, you are storing the data into two tables. But if you see where it is mapped in the XML, it goes actually into TCRM party BOBJ. The data from these two tables are mapped to this. You don't have something called TCRM contact BOBJ, TCRM contq BOBJ. They generally go here. You getting me? So it is a mix and match. If you are a Java developer, you could have made a separate table for this, separate table for this. It is just that end of it, we are trying to do a business, right? I mean, we are trying to help business do their work. So as a Java developer, how we think is how close I can make the objects close to the business. The way I understand the business, I make the objects. But Java is so flexible, right? It is not mandating you to do it this way only. You can categorize, classify the classes in any way you want. It is up to your maturity, up to your understanding of the business, up to your knack of understanding the concepts and entities and the objects. Yeah, objects and making the objects. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So why did we do this? This is the question, right? So what was the objective? Why did we create this Pojo object? Result set is coming from a JDBC, package, right? So our result set itself, I cannot then take it along and then pass it on further, right? What I will do is I will take this result set, convert into my own business object, okay, business related. And then from that business object, I will see if I need to validate on that object. before sending the response, do I really need to validate? Should I really need to check if something came back null, or I put a formula, or I do something, and then I should send an error, or should I just pass on what I got from the database? I will pass it on, and then while passing, I will decide what I need to pass. Should I, my consumer is an XML consumer, I will convert my Java object to an XML. So in this, right, when I send it back here, when I am sending my response to somebody, so should I convert it into an XML? Who's that consumer? If it is E side, I'm going to convert it into an XML. Or when I am doing it, to whom am I the service provider? I'm the service provider, right? What I need to convert? Should I then convert the data into an HTML, or should I convert the data into JSON? It is up to you. So it may happen so that somebody sends you an HTML, but they expect you the response to give in the JSON. You could very well do it. Or they ask you to put the values in a pipe delimited. Put the data in a pipe delimited. I understand only that. Or they say, no, give me the data in a comma separated. Or they will ask, no, give me in XML, or give me in JSON, or give me in HTML, or you invent a new way of doing it. In the Bank of America, well, when I was working for Bank of America, they had their own format of sending the data. Very, very custom format, nothing like this. So with Java, you can literally do anything. You can play with the data. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So what are the questions now? Is it very clear of why did we do that?
Yeah, now got the idea, sir.
Got the idea? Okay. So now, is anyone facing any issues? Should we see their program? What went wrong? Should we try to run it and see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Who wants to share? Who has the problem? Sridhar, you had a problem, right?
Yeah, actually, I mean, even now I'm facing problem like when I just when I try to run the this code, whatever I have written, it is throwing error like because of the encoding.
Okay, I will tell you. I saw your program. I did not reply to it. You have chosen select star from ContiQ. I mean, you are taking the entire data from your database, that table, right? So your RAM will crash. You getting me? Select star from ContiQ. Go ahead.
I only have 10 rows of data.
Oh, okay. Then it's fine. But yeah, if you do not have a where condition, you will end up loading the entire table onto a Java object, right? And that will cause heap dump. Your server will go down. So, okay. So let me see your program. Can we run it and see? Do you have your thing handy? Will you be able to share? Or somebody who has an Eclipse, you can quickly make a class, take Sridhar's code. It's in one program Slack, and we can try and run it and see.
I'm using like I mean, I have connected from office laptop, but I'm coding with my personal laptop. So.
Okay, will you be able to share or no? You are connected from your office laptop, is it?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. All right. Can someone try? Is somebody connected to VPN and all? Can we try? Or anybody else, if somebody would like to share, have a problem. Shreya, you had a problem, right?
Oh, yes, I have. Can I share my screen?
Please.
This program is throwing an error.
Can you show me the error?
It
So just
is
go.
cat statement.
So it is saying the network adapter could not establish the connection. So something is trying to make a connection and the connection is not happening. With whom?
Yeah. It must be with the database, I think.
Yes. So it is very clear. It is telling Java SQL recoverable. So whenever you see an error, right, have a very close eye on that error, and because that error will be telling you everything. So if I see this error, it is telling me very clearly that, okay, Java to SQL connection has been trying to be made, and there is a network issue between this and that.
Yeah, even the previous program, it was running before. Now even this program is throwing the same error. The connection which I have written, the URL is correct as per me. I don't know what I should do.
Okay. So are you connected to VPN?
Let me check. Should be connected all the time. Let me check. Yeah, it is correct. No, it is disconnected.
So let us see that error till you get connected. So if you see that error, it will have everything in it. If you further see that error.
Caused by Oracle. No.
Yeah. So then you further see there, you had made a get connection in your example, right? At a line number 16, it is clearly telling Java line number 16, you are trying to make a driver manager get connection. Sridhar, I was not sure. I thought somebody else is trying to joining with my same name, Ramesh Kulkarni. So I did not allow them. Okay. So the network adapter could not, it is clearly written there. That is what I meant. Okay. So all of you make it as a practice that whenever an error comes, you watch it very carefully. It will give you all the hints. It's like hunting the treasure, right? There will all be those hints. Okay. Yeah. So now it is working. Shreya, you there? Can't hear you, Shreya.
Sorry, I was talking on mute.
Yeah, it's working for you now.
Yeah, but I wanted to know if it is displaying in list. How should I know if this is
So
a
this
list
is
or not?
this is a list. What you see is a list, right? You go back to your program. You are directly printing the object. So what that object is telling you, com duc case2 dot object at the rate. So what is that end? It is telling you the memory where your object has been created. It is the
Yeah.
location inside your RAM. It is telling that your object has been allocated with a certain memory inside this RAM. So that is the hexadecimal number what you see. So now if you want to print, you have to do object dot get.
Dot. Okay. Good.
You do that object dot get contiq ID. Yeah. Okay. Now you control B. Control B is for your build. Yeah. And then Alt Shift X. You can change them. You can make those shortcuts to make it really good.
Alt Shift X.
Yeah, I mean, change those shortcuts so that it is easy. Alt Shift X and then J. So you have to change all those. I generally create these shortcuts. I would have made it as Control R, so that next time when I do, it is easy for me to run, right? Every time I don't waste time in going and selecting those tabs. It takes 4 seconds for me to do all this, right? Instead, so these are your contact IDs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Got it? Okay. Anybody else has any problem?
Yeah, yes, Ramesh. Can I share my screen?
Go ahead.
So when I see here, I don't see, I mean, I don't get to see any like any errors from this code. Like it will be generally, if there is any syntax error, it will be underlined with red color. So when I try to run it,
Okay. Good. Yeah. So don't do it the and file. I will tell what and file is later. You go run, put it on a run on server. You do come down, run as run as nothing is there. Is it? You do a control B.
Just do run.
Run. It is taking him to ant build. There is no server. That is the problem. Just open. Do a control save. Control yes.
yeah.
Just minimize this window. I would like to see if you have installed a server, some server, Tomcat or something like that.
I don't think like I have installed anything.
So only see you developed an IDE, but where are you running this program? So this IDE comes with, it is giving you a compiler, right? When you do a control S, it is telling you that there is a problem. It checked your grammar, whether you're talking properly or not. Writing a Java program, but you need to run it somewhere, right?
Previously I ran it on JRE itself.
Yeah, either you run it on a JRE or you run it on a JDK, or you have a VAS, or what is that? Which Eclipse? This is Eclipse, right? You download the Tomcat server.
Okay. If I mean, as you said, like here I will get an option to run it on server. Is it?
Yes. Once you have, and then you link that. Yeah. Google it, and you will get it.
Okay, Ramesh.
Okay. Set the Tomcat server, and then I assume Suraj also has this problem, right, Suraj?
Yeah, actually, he is having problem in connecting with
yes.
JDBC, Ramesh. That's why he was trying to, try to code in my system itself. So
okay, but then both of you get the Tomcat installed. Okay, Tomcat server, and then run it and send the result.
Yeah, sure. We will do that today.
Okay.
Also, I had another doubt. What if I create the object of array list outside and then call it inside the for loop? Should it work?
Share it. It's a very interesting thing. I will tell you.
I can create the object.
Can someone tell me if Shreya creates an object outside of this while loop, what will happen?
The value won't be loaded, Ramesh.
Which value will not be loaded?
From the database she's connecting, she won't get the values like one after the other.
Why?
If she make object, because while loop's condition is taking the result using the next inbuilt function. So it is taking the results from rows result.
Anybody has anything?
Outside the while loop, it will not be an object, right? Because when it comes within the while loop, it will be an object 1, 2, 3 like that. Outside while, it won't be an object.
Object is an object anywhere, right?
So what he said is right, but I think he didn't construct it properly. I mean, I sensed it what he meant. Yeah, I'll come there. What you're saying is right, Ruby. Yeah. Any other views? No other views? Okay. So this is why I want this sessions are meant only for that reason. Let me share my
I'm
screen.
still getting an output.
Okay, hold on. Go one more time. Go back. Object set cont ID. You created a new object and then contiq ID. You have it. You've got the contiq ID, and you're setting it in the object, and that object you're setting it. Yeah, this you will get it, but it is still wrong. I will tell you why. And okay, do one thing just to show you, right? Print that system out. Take a system out. Take the copy that line number 28, and also paste it somewhere outside. Maybe at line 30. Now control save, control B, and then now run it. You'll get only the last one. Last one you would have repeated twice. Am I right?
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you why. Can I share my screen?
Shall I start? Share?
Yeah, you see my screen?
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So this is very important, all of you, as a Java developer. You have a while, okay, rs.next. Who Shreya and Shripada both are computer science students, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have a while, and your goal is what? Your goal is, this is your goal is you are reading these rows. Agree?
Yeah.
Row 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And these rows you are mapping them to a Java object. Agree?
Yeah.
Right? So hence you need 4 objects.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if I create an object here,
In
Ojo.
one object only we are storing all the values.
That is what will happen.
Yeah, but we are calling that object itself and making it a list, right? So
I will tell you. So when you are making an object here, and when you use this object ojo.set contiq, okay, you are getting the value from your rs.getString, right?
yeah.
This instance,
all the 10 should be in the same object.
So what happens is this Pojo is just one instance. This has created only one object.
Yeah.
Just because you have created one object, every time this loop comes back, this Pojo has a value of 1. Next time it comes, it will strike this, it will take a value of 2. Next time it comes, it is taking a value of 3, it will strike that. It will keep overwriting, okay, till 10 value. So that is why I asked you to print a value sysout outside. So at last, what it printed is the last row. Your 10th row it printed. You getting me? But when you had a sysout inside, it kept on printing. Okay, earlier it had 1, it had 2, it had 3, it had 4, it had 5. It came till 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it kept on overwriting, right? You were printing all that. And suddenly when after the loop I did, what is there? What you have? You have only the value of 10, whereas you wanted all these things. Agree? So
not only 10, I think the 10th result was printed twice, but we do have other output.
No, you don't have. Everything is gone. You are just adding it here. Okay, do one thing. Let's go back to your program and comment out your system out. Okay. Share your screen.
It means like it is just printing that value and it is striking out second time and then again striking out.
No. Yeah, what you said is right. Exactly, because your loop is there inside. Go to your program. and comment your line number 28. Line line number 28, not 30.
Oh,
Yeah, remove this. Yeah, this uncomment. Control S, Control V, run. So what will happen now? What will print now? You'll have only one value.
yeah.
So your
Only the
object
10 is,
10th row will come now.
yeah. It was processing all the 10 values, but only the last were printed. Yeah, I
Okay.
got this one.
But what you
That's-
wanted? You wanted
No,
10 values.
Yeah, I wanted to know if it is created outside, what is the difference between creating one object and printing all the 10 results in one, and creating 10 objects and printing all the 10 in 10 different objects. I think for 10 values, it should be fine. But if we have more data, I think we might lose something by overwriting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll put an example and I'll show you. So your goal is to have the complete row, right? So I will write it one more time. Okay. So if I don't write it here, if I have created an object here, Ojo.
Sir, are you sharing
Should
your
I
screen?
stop share? Yeah, I should stop.
I should stop share. Yeah. So when you are writing this, if I write the object outside of the while loop, and if I try to set the value, since it is overwriting, right? Pojo, yeah, what will happen? Pojo, you set, you can try it out. You know, this can be your exercise today. You can see the variations, how it happens. Get string. And my goal is I have created an array list. Okay, I have created an array list. This array list has to be outside, but this array list has to be outside. Okay, list and whatever list, new list. So this list, and in the list you are adding your this Pojo. Agree? This is what you are doing. Simply what you are doing, you are these rows you are kept on, you are adding these rows, right, to a list, so that you get that list. So now next time when you come, your Pojo is still same, right? So when you are adding the, see what our goal is, this list should have 10 different objects. They are pointing to 10 different, in the memory they will be pointing to a certain positions in the memory, right?
Yeah.
This object, Pojo object, okay, you are pointing this, yeah, this Pojo object is a different memory location. So what you are trying to do now, your Pojo is actually now it is pointing to the same object locations. The value is changing. At the end, if you go and you see the result, you see you will have 10 duplicate objects. And all will be pointing, it is overwriting, right? In your case, it is overwriting. You will have 10 duplicate objects, same 10 duplicate objects pointing to the same thing. You should go and print and see it, or we can do it now itself as an exercise, right? Let's do it. You share your screen and we'll see what happens. That way it will be very clear. Okay, instead you print the list. Okay, let us in line number 19, let us try to print your list after line number 30. Okay, write for loop. Write a for loop for bracket int I is equal to 0, semicolon, I is less than or equal to your cont eq id lost dot size, that array list. Just copy paste that. You do control space, you will get it. Write cont eq and that it will give you cont. You got the second one. use that. Control space. Yeah, okay. Dot size. You are comparing your I with the size. Okay, size is a method what your list gives. Okay. Okay, and then I plus plus. You're incrementing that counter. Okay, now put a flower bracket. Okay, we are trying to print your list now. Objects in the list. Take your list. Sys out. Control space. Yeah. Yeah, right in the quote. Print counter. Print just counter, right counter, only counter. Plus. No, not plus. I mean, put in, okay, space is fine. And then go after the quotes, you write the plus, you are concatenating the string. So you are adding the plus space, give quotes and a space, give a space inside it, give a space inside that quote. Okay, then plus. Okay, you first print your counter, which will be your contiq ID list. Don't remove that code, contiq ID list. Dot just come down. Let's see all the methods. I just want to print your what to say, the number counter of it. Just print I there. Just print I. That is enough. Print I. Just write I. No, remove everything and only print I.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Only there where we were writing, right? Yeah, only. Yeah, I. So you are printing the counter and the value. Okay, then now plus space plus space. Yeah, add that space, double quotes and space. Yeah, and then plus. Okay, so you are adding a counter and we are printing the object. Okay, for that. Now you print your what that object is. At that counter, what your object is, right? Contiq ID dot list. Dot get index. Yeah, put I in that. Yeah, okay. Print it now. So the ideally it should be, what our assumption is, it will print the object of all the 10 locations. Same object, duplicated object. Yes, just go above.
Oh.
See here, see there, all the objects are of same, all the 9 counters. Agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now what you do is you take your Pojo object inside. See, all your 9 objects are a duplicate object. They are having the object of the latest row. Your intention was to capture all the 10 rows, right? But since you overwritten, everything got duplicated. You getting me? Because all your objects are pointing to the same memory location now. So now you go back and put that object inside and now print the result. Bring that object inside your loop.
For loop inside.
Yeah, no. Bring that line number 29 to line number 26 and rerun. 21. Bring line number 21. Bring that line number 21. 21 to 26. Now you see. Now are they pointing to different location? of your RAM?
Different objects. Yeah.
Different objects. Okay. Now stop your screen. I will talk on this so that this is the only thing what you have to learn in Java. Nothing more than this. Okay. What is that you are trying to do? It's very simple. So let us assume you are trying to create something called customer is equal to cust1 is equal to new customer object. What it means is you are telling that engine where you are running this program, right? Please allocate the space for me because I need the space. I'm going to hold the values here there. You getting me? So somebody has written a program for you where they will allocate some default space, but then if your customer object is a huge enough, they will scale up to have more space. You getting me? Are you following? But then what you do is you write another object, next line of the code. You write another object customer2 is equal to new customer. It will create another location for you because it is a new object, new instance. You with me? So this will create a new location for you in the RAM. Okay. But now the moment you equate it to like this, you make your customer2 as a customer1. Your engine, what will happen is your customer2 will start linking to this. This will go away because your customer2 you made an object reference to a customer1. You getting me? So your customer2 now became a customer1. So it started pointing to object1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Clear, very clear. So this is very important concept. Everything happens in Java only with this. If you are able to understand this fundamental, mostly you understand Java. Nothing more than this.
Sir, I
This
have
is
one
what
doubt.
happens. Yeah.
Sir, here when we give the memory location for an object, like that memory for int how it is fixed, for long how it is fixed, is it fixed for every object, like whichever object we create?
Yes. So int, right? In Java they have a certain limitation. If you read that, you'll get to know. I think they have some range is what they support, 2 to the power of 64. I really don't know. You can check that. So it is that range where they do it default. Okay. So but now these days people are writing very intelligent programs at the back where by default they will allocate only something to you, but then they will scale it up. But if your program is really asking for more memory, you getting me?
Okay.
Yeah. So let us assume you have a class. You have a class. Yeah, you have written XYZ, and then you have declared a lot of variables, right? Int, float, yeah, and object. So Java, it's called lazy evaluation. It will not go whenever the moment you instantiate this class, it will not go and create some 10 MB of memory for you. That's a bad way of utilizing your memory, right? It will just say that class 1 is going to come. So it will assign some default space for you. Okay, it knows it has these variables. It is going to have some, you have not even set your value at. When you do class, you do you do object Pojo is equal to new Pojo. You created a new class. It will just create some default memory. It will assign some memory that class is going to come, some pointer to that memory. Yeah. But your Pojo may have so many things, right? It can literally have one table of data. That will not go unless when you do Pojo.set, you start doing this, right? That memory keeps increasing. You with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are we very clear on this? So what difference does it make? So whenever you are creating a new instance, it is creating a new instance. That is why we put it inside while. Because every time we want to create a new instance, and that new instance we are adding it to the list, right? If had you created this customer outside of your while loop like this, it will keep overwriting and everything will keep pointing to the same memory location. So it's as good as, although your list has 10 objects, but all those 10 objects are pointing to the same memory, all duplicate objects. It did not serve the purpose for you. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, one more doubt I have, sir.
Yeah.
Here in a query, we have given that less than 10 and we are fetching 10 rows. If we don't have 10 rows, we have only 5 rows. If for null row also, it makes creates an object and creates a space.
No, no. I mean, what you get, it will set it. You have to do those null checks and all. Your result set object, let's assume it had only 5 rows. Your result set will give only 5 rows. Even if you have
cursor, that next method will take care of it. That cursor
yes.
moves only till that.
Yes. So somebody has written that intelligent code. You will have to also write like that. See, when now Shreya's program, there is an array out of bound exception. So that will be your exercise. You'll have to see why that is throwing out of bound exception. So we did not limit it. We are trying to go to the next range. Our program is trying to reach the next range, and it did not get any value. So it threw that array out of bound exception. Right. So, but this here, whomsoever has written this package, he has written it so he is taking care of all those controls. So that is why you will not have those problems. Any other questions? Are we very clear? Super clear? Shripurna?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Are you clear?
As of now, good, Ramesh.
Good. Okay. So take this exercise. I want you to learn the ways you can set values to the object variables. Okay. For example, I will give an example. You have a class, right? You have a class XYZ, and you say int height is equal to 0. Okay. So I am using this class somewhere in my program, and I need to set this height. What are my different ways of setting the height? So I can set this height by instantiating this class, right? XYZ is equal to XYZ is equal to new XYZ. Create one class and try to set the value. So I can do it like XYZ. I set this height. This is one way of doing height. And what I can do is I can have a getter setter, which you have already tried. Set height is equal to 10. Yeah. 20. And then what I can do is I can do it at a constructor level itself. When I can have a constructor, during the constructor itself, I can do it. I can set the value at the time of here, something like I pass a 10 value here. I do like this XYZ, new XYZ. I can pass a value here, and I can set it during instantiation itself. So when you do it, this makes more sense, Shruti, when you are asking, right? So when I do it, I am setting more memory. I'm telling the engine that, okay, I am creating an object and I want this much of memory. So I'm setting this value immediately. Okay, it is not taking a default value, right? But I am mandating the RAM. Okay, so these are the ways, but you have to print it and show it so that you get comfortable, right? How all you can initialize the values. Are you all following?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramesh.
And second is why that array out of bound exception you got on Shreya, right? Take her program and then explain it to me. What do you mean by this? Okay. Yeah. Can we do these two exercises? This is very simple. This shouldn't take more than 1 hour. Yeah. Let's not take days. Yeah. Let's see if we can crack it by tomorrow. All right. And then I will have very interesting exercise after you grasp this.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay then. Okay. All right. Then anything else? Any other questions?
No, sir. I'm good, sir.
No, sir, I'm good.